AEW star Hangman Page could reportedly be set to miss the AEW Revolution pay-per-view due to personal reasons. We'll let you know about that. Drew McIntyre, has he re-signed with WWE ahead of WrestleMania? An update on the AEW creative team after a creative hire this week. Sting's final episode of AEW Dynamite has been announced for next week's show. The Rock will be appearing on SmackDown next week. Nick Nemeth wins a championship in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and an update on if we're going to see Sylvester Stallone at WrestleMania 40. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about Hangman Adam Page, and it looks like there was maybe more to the injury angle that was shot this past week on AEW. Now, we do know that Hangman isn't injured, but he could still be set to miss AEW Revolution, where he's set to compete for the AEW World Championship, but for different reasons. Now, the February 21, 2024 episode of AEW Dynamite saw Hangman Adam Page seemingly suffer an ankle injury during the main event. In a match that featured Samoa Joe, Swerve Strickland, and Brian Cage versus Hook, Hangman Adam Page, and Rob Van Dam, Hangman seemed to pick up an injury during a moment with AEW World Champion Samoa Joe. A later report, however, would reveal that the injury was part of a storyline leading up to AEW Revolution, where Samoa Joe will defend the AEW World Championship against Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page. Dave Meltzer provided further insight into Page's situation, noting that while the injury is not legitimate, he still may miss the March 3rd pay-per-view for another reason, hence why the injury storyline was put in place. Writing in the Wrestling Observer newsletter about the injury and upcoming match, Meltzer notes, quotes, "The other main event has Samoa Joe versus Swerve Strickland versus Adam Page for the AEW singles title. On the February 21 show, they did an injury angle with Page that was done to be a legit for a backstory in case they had to make it Joe versus Strickland in a singles match. It was said that due to a personal issue that he may not be able to make the show, so they shot the angle as an explanation if needed." Now, he brought to you previously that AEW producer Jerry Lynn had commented on the revelation that the injury was part of an angle, tweeting, quote, "This shouldn't even be announced. God forbid we have a cliffhanger for next week." Now, of course, this isn't the first time that Jerry Lynn has publicly voiced his displeasure about people in AEW leaking news to reporters. Now, no further details were provided as to the nature of the personal issues, and Page is yet to address the reports. If we get any more details than that, we'll, of course, let you know in the future. Now, Drew McIntyre has been heavily featured on WWE programming recently, and it's led to some to speculate on if he's finally put pen to paper on a new long-term WWE contract. Well, WWE are seemingly confident they can keep Drew McIntyre, whose current deal ends in April, with a new one reportedly not yet signed. McIntyre set to appear in the men's Elimination Chamber match on February 24, 2024, with the winner going on to face the World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins at WrestleMania 40 in April for the title. It's been widely reported that McIntyre's WWE contract expires just after WrestleMania 40, with McIntyre himself saying, quote, he can't talk about it, but he will let the internet talk about it, end quote. In the latest issue of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer revealed future plans for McIntyre, writing, quote, "While one would think McIntyre has signed his new deal, and I'd at this point be shocked if he goes anywhere given the way they've set up a major Rhodes versus McIntyre program seemingly for after Mania, and he's already got a written program of CM Punk that he's been pushing hard for around November. But there is no new deal signed yet, but clearly the expectation is that he's staying, and he's in the best position he's ever been, given between his work and how hot the company is." It was previously noted that McIntyre was happy with his current role in WWE, which has seen him be at odds with both Cody Rhodes and CM Punk over the last few months. McIntyre faced Cody Rhodes on the February 19, 2024 episode of Monday Night Raw in the opening match that would see interference from the Bloodline, leading to McIntyre being the first person to pin Cody Rhodes inside of a WWE ring since Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania 39 in April of last year. With Rhodes losing due to a Samoan spike from Solo Sikoa, McIntyre addressed claims that he was a hypocrite because he was helped by the Bloodline, who he's previously had issues with. During his rebuttal, McIntyre would also slip in a subtle CM Punk reference, noting, "Look into my eyes, what do you see?" Now, since Punk's return at Survivor Series last year, McIntyre has made his feelings quite clear and has continued to do so since Punk's triceps injury, which was sustained at the hands of McIntyre in the men's Royal Rumble match last month. Now, we've got a bit of an update when it comes to the AEW creative team after the signing of Jen Pepperman this week. Now, following reports that former senior WWE writer and producer Jennifer Pepperman had joined AEW, it was reported that Pepperman is expected to be working with Mercedes Moné following Moné's AEW debut. With it being believed that Pepperman will essentially be Moné's personal writer in AEW, Dave Meltzer has now reported that Pepperman will be involved in booking both women's and men's storylines moving forward as well. Meltzer also noted that AEW doesn't have plans to change their creative process and still won't be writing concrete scripts for talent. Explaining the process, Meltzer wrote the following in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, quote, Pepperman will be heavily involved with the women's storylines but also be involved in the men's storylines. Her first day was Dynamite on February 21. Tony Khan will be the booker and she'll be added to the likes of Bryan Danielson, Sonjay Dutt, Jerry Lynn, Jimmy Jacobs, Will Washington and others in the creative inner circle. They are not changing how they are doing things and will not be script writing promos for the most part. The idea is like it's always been, give talent bullet points and they can use their own words to make those points. It's expected that Mercedes Moné, known as Sasha Banks in WWE, will debut for AEW at the upcoming AEW Dynamite Big Business Special, which will emanate from the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts on March 13. So seemingly, she's going to be working very close with Mercedes Moné. Now, speaking of AEW Dynamite, the final episode of Sting's AEW career is going to be taking place this week. Sting's final AEW Dynamite appearance ahead of his retirement match at AEW Revolution on March 3rd has been announced. At the end of last year, WWE Hall of Famer and AEW star Sting announced that the final match of his 36-year career would take place at AEW Revolution on March 3rd. The Stinger went on to team with Darby Allin to defeat Ricky Starks and Big Bill to win the AEW World Tag Team Championships on the February 7th edition of AEW Dynamite. On February 23rd, Tony Khan took to social media to announce that Sting will make his final AEW Dynamite appearance on the February 28 episode. The post reads, as you can see on the screen right now, saying this Wednesday, February 28, AEWTix.com, Huntsville, Alabama, Wednesday night AEW Dynamite, Sting's final Dynamite this Wednesday. Co-holder of the AEW World Tag Team Championship, Sting makes his final appearance on TBS after 36 iconic years on top. Now, Khan did kind of later clarify what Sting's status is going to be with AEW after he retires from in-ring competition. He said the following, quote, he may stop by in the future to say hello to the AEW fans from time to time, but after next week, we all have to face the reality, it's over. Sting is retiring after AEW Revolution, and his last ever appearance as a professional wrestler on TBS is this Wednesday in Huntsville. So the Stinger is going to be on TV next week. Speaking of TV next week, we're going to be graced by the presence of the Great One. Yes, the next WWE appearance of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson following his recent heel turn has been officially announced. The Rock has made multiple appearances for WWE since his return back on February 2nd on the road to WrestleMania 40. The Rock officially turned heel at the WrestleMania kickoff press conference event in Las Vegas, Nevada, cutting his first promo as a heel in over 20 years on the February 16th episode of SmackDown last week. Following the promo, WWE has now announced that The Rock will return to WWE television on the March 1st episode of SmackDown in Glendale, Arizona. WWE used the graphic of The Rock in the Bloodline to advertise his upcoming appearance, though it's not been specified whether Roman Reigns will also be appearing on the show as well as The Rock. Now, Triple H has said that The Rock will not be appearing at tomorrow's WWE Elimination Chamber event in Perth, Australia. Whether or not he is there, of course, we'll have to still wait and see. The Rock's participation in WrestleMania is yet to be officially confirmed, although it is widely and heavily speculated he'll be teaming up with Roman Reigns to face off against Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, most likely on night one of WrestleMania in April. Now, switching gears to New Japan Pro Wrestling, Nick Nemeth has now won his first championship following his WWE release. When the popular star was let go by WWE in September of last year, there was a lot of speculation about Nemeth's next move post-WWE. Nemeth made his first post-WWE wrestling appearance at January's Wrestle Kingdom 18 event, brawling with the inaugural IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion David Finlay. Nemeth finally faced off against Finlay on Friday's New Beginning in Sapporo show with the gold on the line. The former Dolph Ziggler was ultimately victorious, defeating Finlay in his New Japan Pro Wrestling debut to win the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. This makes Nemeth the second ever IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion, with Finlay previously becoming the first first ever champion at Wrestle Kingdom 18 by winning a three-way bout against Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley. Another former WWE star won singles gold on the show, with Matt Riddle also defeating Hiroshi Tanahashi for the New Japan World Television title as well. So the pair of former WWE stars now both hold gold in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Finally, an update on if we're going to be seeing Sylvester Stallone at WrestleMania 40. Now, with WWE often featuring notable names at WrestleMania events, there had been some speculation that we could see the Rocky Balboa man himself at the April 6/7 premium live event. A previous report indicated that WWE was interested in having Stallone at WrestleMania, but noted that the communication status between both sides was unclear. Per Dave Meltzer in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, there was talk between the two sides, but Stallone already has a prior engagement that would clash with WrestleMania 40. Meltzer writes, quote, WrestleVotes reported that WWE was talking to Sylvester Stallone about appearing at WrestleMania this year, since the character of Rocky Balboa was based in Philadelphia. Those at WWE have confirmed the talk, but said that as of earlier in the week, Stallone had said there was a scheduled conflict, so the deal hasn't been done unless you can or he wants to remove the conflict or something like that. Two title matches, of course, have been confirmed for WrestleMania 40, with Bayley set to challenge for Io Sky's WWE Women's Championship, and Cody Rhodes will once again face off against undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, with the championship gold on the line in a rematch from last year's WrestleMania main event. But there you go, guys. This latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today, be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.